What's going on, Canucks fans? Miroki here, and today we're going to be talking about what the Canucks did at that crazy 2016 NHL draft. So going into the draft, Jim Benning had said that he had a list of about 6 players in his sort of first tier of upper echelon players. 5 of them being forwards and 1 of them being a defenseman. And I think all of us here in Canucks Nation were kind of hoping that the player that would fall down to 5th would be Pierre-Luc Dubois, a big winger slash center from the Q. But then Columbus happened. Everything was going nicely. Matthews went to Toronto, Laine went to Winnipeg, and then Jarmo Kekalainen stepped up to the podium and said Pierre-Luc Dubois, and just kind of, sweet, thank you, thank you, thank you. I was like, what just happened? What do we do now? Who are we gonna take? Tkachuk, Juolevi, some defensemen? Please don't be Logan Brown, don't be Logan Brown. And then the naive, optimistic Canuck fan side of me comes in, I'm like, maybe Edmonton just pulls a massive brain fart and doesn't pick Juolevi, and he falls to 5. That would be amazing. Then of course that doesn't happen because we can't have nice things here in Vancouver. And then at that point I was like, okay, you know what, I can live with Tkachuk or Juolevi. As long as it's not Logan Brown or something like that, or Jacob Chychrun, I'll be happy. And Jim Benning takes Olli Juolevi from the London Knights of the OHL. But Miroki, you can't possibly have been happy at that point when we took Juolevi. And I get it, Matthew Tkachuk is going to be a very good player, but here's why I'm okay with taking Olli Juolevi. First of all, I'm more so pissed that Columbus kind of screwed us over. I mean, if they had gone with Juolevi, who knows who Edmonton would have taken. I heard a rumor that they were thinking about taking Mikhail Sergachev, and I could definitely see them taking Matthew Tkachuk. But getting past that, I think Juolevi is the right fit for the team. Now, I'm a firm believer in taking the best player available in a draft, not something to fit your positional need, but Benning said it himself earlier this year that if he viewed a forward and a defenseman as equals, he would go for the defenseman. And I guess in his mind, he thought that Juolevi and Tkachuk were pretty equal. And I have no problem seeing that too. Juolevi, I think, is going to be a great defenseman. Some people are comparing him to a Roman Josi. And if we get anything close to Roman Josi out of Olli Juolevi, I'd call that a pretty successful draft pick. So what else do we know about him? Some sites have him listed as 6'2", others as 6'3", so that's still a pretty big defenseman there. And he's weighing in at close to 190, so he still has a lot of room to go as far as filling out and building more muscle, which can only make him better. And that's just the physical side of his game. Benning talked about this a lot, but his hockey IQ is off the charts. For Team Finland at the U20 World Championships, he was their best defenseman. Heck, he was probably one of the best defensemen in a tournament that's dominated by 18 and 19-year-olds as a 17-year-old. That's almost unheard of. His smooth skating, on-ice awareness, and slick passing are great tools to make him a great transitional defenseman in the NHL, and Benning talks about these qualities a lot in defensemen he likes. Nowadays in the NHL, if your defenseman can't start the breakout to get out of your own zone, you're done, you're screwed. Look at the Calgary series. We were having so much trouble getting out of our zone with Kevin Bieksa, Lucas Spiza back there, and I think down the road, Juolevi will be the guy that's heavily leaned upon with Chris Tanev to start that breakout. Offensively, I think he has the positional awareness, passing, and skating to be a great power play quarterback. So other Canucks fans might be a little mad that we didn't trade down to get Olli Juolevi, because a lot of fans thought that there were better players to take at the 5th overall pick, and if we really wanted Juolevi, we could have traded down to accrue some more assets, like maybe a 2nd round pick that we don't have. And to this I say, look at what Columbus did with Pierre-Luc Dubois. That was their guy. That was the guy they wanted, and they weren't sure if they traded down if he would still be there. So I'm totally okay with Benning taking the guy that he knew he wanted, even if it was just a bit early. So let's move on to the later round picks that the Canucks had. And this is sort of where I rely on Benning's scouting eye more than my own and my opinions, because honestly, I haven't heard of half of these players. In the 3rd round, the Canucks took William Lockwood, a small forward who plays bigger than his size. He put up 33 points in 59 games at the U.S. Development Program, and next year he'll be going to the University of Michigan. Benning seems to really be liking his American picks in the later rounds, as with Adam Gaudette, and I guess you could even say Brock Besser in the late 1st round. And so I'm just going to go with his judgment here and say that hopefully he's found a good player there. Following that up in the 5th round, Benning took Cole Candella from the Hamilton Bulldogs, an offensively minded defenseman who had a bit of injuries this season, so I'd say the jury's still out on this guy, but time will tell, like most draft picks. Now, I'd say that this draft, as far as depth-wise, is a little bit weaker than most drafts, and I would say that's pretty reflective in the last 3 picks the Canucks made, with all of them being overage players. The Canucks selected forwards Jacob Steckel, Rodrigo Abols, who, if Canucks fans remember from the Young Stars tournament, he was an invitee last year, and with their last pick they took Brett McKenzie. Now, I'm not going to touch too much on these players because there is a bigger topic that I want to talk about, and that is Ty Ronning. This is a hometown guy who played for the Vancouver Giants and whose father was Vancouver Canucks legend Cliff Ronning. So I'm thinking a lot of Canuck fans were really hoping that they would take this player with one of their later round picks, and To some extent, I can kind of see where they're coming from. I mean, we have missed out on a lot of hometown players before. But really, guys, Tyroning's a 5'9" forward who only put up 59 points in 67 games. So it's not like we're missing out on a Johnny Gaudreau here who just tore up the NCAA, or a player like Brendan Gallagher who had a way better draft year than Tyroning did. Keep in mind, 29 other teams also passed on him in the first 6 rounds until New York took him in the 7th. So really, I'm not too hurt that we didn't take Tyroning. I don't see the big issue here, and I do hope that Tyroning does have a great career and hopefully makes it to the NHL. But those are just my opinions, so let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of the Canucks draft, what you think of Olli Juolevi, what you think of our later round picks. Maybe try to convince me why you really think Tyroning should have been a Canuck. And yeah, you can click right here to subscribe to the channel for more videos, and you can click right here to see my last video on the Hunter Shinkaruk trade. So yeah, thanks guys for watching.